Hey friends, welcome back to the Procrastination Solution Podcast, where we get real about what's holding you back and how to move forward with purpose, clarity, and a solid plan for success. I am your host, Nilo Burke, and I help women just like yourself overcome procrastination for good and achieve your goals. Now, every Monday, I'll be sharing one simple but powerful strategy that you can apply immediately to your week, something that creates momentum without burnout. This week, we're talking about a Monday morning routine that you'll actually stick to. This is a mini routine. So if your Mondays feel chaotic, rushed, or unintentional, this episode is for you. Now, let me start with something simple. You do not need a perfect morning routine to be productive. In fact, a long, rigid routine might be the very thing keeping you from consistency. What you need is an anchor, okay? So just a few small actions that say to your brain and your body that we are transitioning into focus mode. We are safe. We're starting fresh. Let's get going. Let's get this week started. That's what a mini routine does. It removes decision fatigue, it helps build self-trust, and it creates momentum without forcing discipline, right? So in a 2020 study published in Personality and Social Psychology Review, researchers found that routines reduce stress and increase feelings of control, which then lead to higher motivation and productivity throughout the day. So yes, small routines do lead to, bigger impact. Now, why Monday mornings matter? Mondays are emotionally loaded for a lot of us, right? If you've gotten the Sunday scaries, it's because you're dreading Monday, you're dreading the week. The Mondays represent a fresh start, but also a reminder of everything we didn't get done last week. That emotional mix can make us either avoid everything and scroll on our phone or jump straight into work, reactive and frazzled. That's not how I want to start my Monday. I bet you don't either. So here's a better option. Give yourself 15 to 30 minutes before diving into tasks or emails. Start your week on purpose. So just 2 to 3 small intentional actions can shift your whole mindset from reactive to proactive, right? And that brings us, so much calm and so much clarity, not just, to Monday mornings, but to the entire week. If you do it over and over again, this is something that your brain learns to do all on its own. So here's your challenge for this Monday. Pick 2 to 3 simple things that you'll do every Monday morning, no matter what. They should feel easy to remember, calming and grounding, and no more than 15 to 30 minutes total, right? So a few examples might include, brewing your coffee and journaling for, a few minutes, stretching, maybe doing some sort of an exercise, reading one page of your vision or your goals. This is important. You can, schedule a little bit of time in there to read your favorite book, but reading a little bit of your vision and your goals, especially on a Monday morning, is so powerful because you're reminding yourself of this bigger picture that you want to focus on, that you're working towards, right? Again, stretch or walk for 10 minutes, clean off your desk, clean off your work area. That's really going to make a big impact, and keep you from getting frazzled or being unorganized for first things you have to do on Monday. You could also brain dump on a piece of paper, like write down everything that you're thinking about, everything that you have to do, and pick the top 3 priorities for the week. That's something you can do every week. It's something your brain will learn to rely on. Again, it becomes a habit. And reviewing your calendar or your schedule. That's also a wonderful way to start your day, but especially your Monday. And then put on an energizing playlist. If, that is something that, resonates with you, light a candle, create calm for yourself or create energy. Something that you can do, again, pick 2 to 3 things, something you can do every Monday morning that are the same things, that are not hard to do, right? And they won't take more than 15 to 30 minutes to complete. Your list might be very different, obviously, but the idea is the same. You're telling your nervous system, I am safe, I am prepared for today, I'm prepared for this week, and I am in charge. I am leading this day. I am leading this week. Okay? Now, why this works, but here's the truth though. Let's talk about, you don't need more time. You need better transitions. And I know that, as a teacher, I know that transitions are so important for students. When you transition from one activity to another, you can't just drop them from one thing to another. They'll become frazzled. They need just a little bit of a transition time. They need something that they can rely on every single day when it comes to transitions. So if they're going from taking notes to working in groups, for example, you have to, build a 1-minute transition in there, something they can do, which, might include putting certain, of their supplies away, getting something else out, standing up, doing a little stretch. So transitions are important, not only for children, but also for us adults. And we forget that, right? You and I probably did the same thing in school. I don't remember it very, very a lot, but if you do remember it, transitions in school, they were done on purpose. They were done for a reason. Now, that's what this Monday mini routine gives you, right? It gives you a better transition from the weekend to the week, right? Especially to Monday. So when studied through the lens of habit psychology, James Clear, he's the author of Atomic Habits, the book Atomic Habits. It's one of my favorite books. So James Clear talks about the importance of gateway habits. These are small actions that serve as the entrance point to a larger behavior. They require very little effort, but they signal to your brain that, we're doing something else now. We're transitioning into something else. That's what your mini routine becomes, your gateway to productivity. And as I am saying this, I'm just thinking of another example here for you, which is when I give, little transitions to my children. So, for example, right now it's summertime, they're swimming in the pool. When it's time for them to get out, I can't just say, okay, it's time to get out. It's too abrupt for them. It's too hard. So in order for it to be a calm, transition and not as much arguing or not as much whining, I have to say, okay, guys, you guys have 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we're going to get out. Or in 10 minutes, we're going to get out, right? That creates a little transition for them. It gets them ready. I used to do the same thing years ago for, one of my daughters. She used to have a hard time leaving when we would go out to, visit family. She would have a hard time leaving. So that was something that, she struggled with. She would cry. She would be upset. And we learned that we have to give her a few warnings, like, hey, we're going to leave. We're going to get our things together. Let's get our shoes and socks ready. So just another example of transition that came to mind for me that I wanted to include here. So you'll find that when you start your week with, these transitions consistently, your brain starts building evidence that you can trust yourself to follow through, right? And it's not just follow through on these transitions. It's just, it can't distinguish between following through on these transitions or following through on any other future activities or any other activities that you might participate in, right? So that self-trust, that's where momentum is born when it comes to really any goals, right? All right. So this Monday, before you get on your phone, before you dive into emails, before you get swept away, just pause, choose 2 to 3 anchor habits, make it simple, right? Make it important to you, because small shifts done consistently, they really create a massive transformation over time. So give this a try. I hope that this Momentum Monday episode is, just the thing that you needed to hear in order to, create a productive and stress-free week for yourself, right? So give this a try. I would love to hear what mini routines you're creating for your Monday mornings. I would love to, have you screenshot or DM me on Instagram at Nilo Burke Coaching, or send me an email at niloburkecoaching@gmail.com and tell me, about your anchor habits. I would love to know. And if this episode spoke to you, and you're ready to, for a deeper support, my one-on-one coaching program is open for enrollment right now. I will include the link for the consultation in the show notes, but I'll help you create not just routines, working one-on-one with me, but systems and structures and a whole new level of momentum in your life. So, head to the show notes and click on the link to schedule a one-on-one consultation call with me. And let's talk about how we can, help you achieve your goals. So thank you so much for tuning in this Monday. I would love for you to go start your week from a place of calm and clarity and so much confidence. You have totally got this, my friends. Have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you on Thursday. Bye.